We basically have been in business about 5 years. We started in 2007. About 18 months of planning into our startup. I had never distilled prior to having my distillation equipment arrive from Germany. So, as my wife said, that had to be one of the stupidest things you've ever done. So far seems to be okay. 2007, our first full calendar year, 2008, we sold about 2,800 cases. For a craft distillery, and we'll talk about what my definition of that is here a little bit later. And that's the largest startup so far. Last year we did about 8,000. We'll do about 12,000. And when we talk about a case, that's a 9-liter, 12,750 ml case. We manufacture vodka. In 2009, our vodka won the World Spirit Competition, Best Vodka. That's the largest judging event in North America. First time the small distiller has won a major competitive award like that. Really good day. And we manufacture gin as well. Wheat whiskey. We did a release of bourbon last year, and we'll have some additional bourbon coming. I actually have some of that at the booth if you'd like to stop by and taste it later. Our newest whiskey is, and we're actually, that might be what's in our mystery bottle here, is Triticale whiskey. Triticale is a wheat rye hybrid that was developed in Scotland in the 1890s. It is grown in our area. It took us a year to find the correct seed variety. I think it is the best thing we've ever made. So we'll see if you guys agree. We're going to do a cask release on our wheat whiskey, so cask strength. We are doing a port barrel finish on our wheat whiskey as well. And then in 2011, we were the ABI Distillery of the Year. The 2 previous winners to that were Stranahan's and Tuffletown, and they'll be next week at the conference. So I always kind of give a disclaimer before I launch into my tirade, so these views are entirely mine, probably not shared by maybe anyone else but me, but here we go anyway. We are a farm-to-malt producer. So we buy most of our grain from one single 106-year-old homesteaded family farm. About 45,000 pounds a month. We use about 600,000 pounds of grain this year in our facility. And we control our grain down to specific seed variety, and we almost kind of take an appellation approach to grain. So we are very concerned about the piece of ground, practices that our farmer uses, and very specific grain varietals. Yes, sir.
What is Triticale?
Triticale is a wheat rye hybrid. So it is a grain that was developed in Scotland. It's a non-GMO, so it was a naturally created hybrid grain developed in Scotland because it has a higher protein content than most wheat does. So it was developed as a feed grain. We went through 6 or 7 different seed varietals until we found a seed varietal that made what we think was a great whiskey. But no one has ever made a commercial whiskey from Triticale before. So it could be great, could suck, we'll find out. This is the ground where our grain is grown. Our particular farmer farms about 2,400 acres. We use about half of that acreage in our production. All dryland farming. We produce every drop of spirit that we sell. So we're a raw material finished good manufacturer. We don't buy spirits at all. We define craft distilling as that process of taking a raw material, fermenting it, distilling it, finishing it, and packaging it. I would guess that people calling themselves micro or craft distillers, there are maybe 25% of the people that work this way. We have a little bit of a definition issue within our industry right now. Our equipment was imported from Germany. Christian Carl, 165-year-old company. We age all of our whiskeys in 53-gallon barrels. They're made by Independent Stave in Lebanon, Missouri. We do a number 3 char, which is right in the middle of the road. Everything we do is in a new barrel, with the exception of when we dump a bourbon barrel, then we put our own single malt in our own bourbon barrels. So that's the only used barrel that we use. We actually have a test right now going on with Independent Stave where we're doing some aging in French American, European, and then hybrid barrels, so different oaks. And that actually is going to be published Tuesday of next week. So there'll be some really interesting data coming out on the effect of different grain on the exact same whiskey. This year we will sell and ship about 12,000 cases, and we'll barrel about 300 barrels of whiskey this year. This is our barrel house, kind of in transition. We have about 400 barrels in rotation currently. We're at another 300 this year. A lot of whiskey, actually. To us, it seems like that. The average, I think, U.S. Distillery in Kentucky has 1 million barrels in rotation. So we always tell people it's just a matter of zeros. One thing that we're moving to, I come from Washington State. Washington just, with the help of our friends from Costco, privatized our state system. So we've gone from a control state, which we were since Prohibition, in a state-run alcohol system, to an open system now, a 3-tier system. And that transition started March 1st and June 1 in terms of the phasing. So we're going to go from 300 liquor stores in the state of Washington to 2,400 in one day, which is fairly insane. And try to figure out how we're going to actually fill shelves of all these retailers. It's a really difficult thing for us to do. So one of the things we're doing to help that process is we're actually moving to fully automated bottling middle of this year. We are in the middle of another expansion plan to basically move our capacity about 4 times what it currently is. We have some exporting projects that we actually have postponed because we're afraid that we can't even take care of our own state potentially. And currently we direct sell to about 30 states. So that's my little spiel. Timo and Ashby are friends of mine from here in the Bay. They actually are working on a distillery project here, so you can talk to them about that when we're done. And we have our wheat whiskey. That's what Timo has. Aged a minimum of 2 years in American oak, soft white winter wheat. It is 100% wheat whiskey. And then the other is actually our triticale whiskey. Wheat whiskey is 80 proof. The triticale I took straight out of the barrel, so it's 120. And the triticale, obviously, at 120 proof is huge right now. It's about 18 or 19 months old currently. Has some really nice characteristics of rye, which are generally a big spiciness, and then kind of tempered with the soft side of wheat. Wheat is a very soft distillate, so it's a little bit of residual sweetness. So those two things, I think, work really well together.
And how many months is the wheat?
It's over 2 years. We don't pull any barrel unless it's 2 years old. So basically, we produce straight whiskeys only, so 2 years old.
How are you guys? Good evening. Everybody still doing well from the second boat? Like one boat wasn't big enough, right? Welcome. My name is Davorin Kuchan. I'm the owner and master distiller at Artisan Spirits. We are your local distillery here. How many of you are local? In the Bay Area or San Francisco South? Okay. So as you know, there's a budding micro distillery movement in the United States. There's how many wineries in general in the United States currently today? Too many. Not enough. Around 6,600 wineries, half of them in California. Just as many breweries out there, and there's less than 250 functioning distilleries. So it's growing, but we still have a long, long way to go. So we're locally here in Belmont. We're just about 20 miles south. We're right by 92. I am a third-generation winemaker and distiller. So originally, I was born in Croatia. Came in 1985 to California. Absolutely fell in love with everything that California has to offer. Great place, great weather. My wife was very beautiful, at the time. So, anyway, fell in love with the local girl, and at the time, she's still beautiful. In fact, yesterday we celebrated our 16-year anniversary. So,
I'm going to talk about
I know, longevity, but I really fell in love with California, and if you think about it, we really live in paradise, not because of so much diversity, but all the great food and produce that we have locally here. So we're blessed with great stuff that we don't have to go to South America or Chile or anywhere else to get. So a lot of the inspiration for me was local produce. I was able to connect with some of the great farmers up in Placerville. Any of you guys go to Lake Tahoe? You take 50, there's a Placerville, Apple Hill area. beautiful mountain area, great in the fall to visit with the families. Just terrific fruit, mountain-grown fruit. And I was a 7-year-old kid. How did I get started? I was a 7-year-old kid growing in our family vineyards and distillery in Croatia, kind of running up and down, and sneaky shots of Slivovitz and grappa from our family still. And then running really fast and eating all the food and the fruit that was there. So that's how the whole thing started. So when I came over here and seeing all this fruit, it was just a great inspiration for, saying, what can you do with all this great stuff, right? Let's make some great spirits. So at this point, like I said, we are a fully bonded winery and distillery. All of our stuff is produced locally here in Belmont. I gave you a little bit of a card just to kind of a little bit give you an idea of the portfolio that we do. So we do a couple of fruit brandies, eau de vies, which you can taste over at our booth on the second floor inside if you want. We get all the local fruits from 2 family farms up in Apple Hill. We're famous for our Blade Gin. How many of you have actually tried our Blade Gin or seen it? It's on the picture here. And we have a barrel-aged rusty Blade Gin, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about. We also do 2 absinthes, our Black Walnut Ricino, which is my grandmother's recipe. We have some samples up at the booth if you're interested in trying that as well. And we just recently released our Gold Run Rye. Gold Run Rye is 100% white organic rye. So while we're talking, you might as well sample. This is the 3rd sample. Make a homemade butter. And this is how I would wake up to this beautiful smell of rye bread, this home, fresh made butter, local jams, but it was always this memory of this warm rye bread. Rye is a colder climate crop, so a lot of rye in Eastern Europe and Croatia. So I was always disappointed with the rye whiskeys here because they're all these industrial whiskeys. They really taste like bourbons with a little bit of a spice of a rye, right? And if you've ever baked, I don't know if you baked bread at home or tried to bake rye, it's just not what it is, right? So I really wanted to kind of recapture those childhood memories and this flavor of rye. So different in many ways. It's 100% white organic rye. It's in North Dakota. White rye, it's winter rye. And it's unmalted. And we mash, ferment, and distill like an eau de vie, like a fruit brandy. What I tried to recreate is get all the floral aromas, all the esters, sort of warm, bready, rich breakfast cereal kind of flavors. Sort of like biting in a fresh local rye bread. So this is the sort of the 3rd sample. We aged in, it's double distilled. We fermented it at various low temperatures. We use champagne and Sauvignon Blanc, different strains of yeast. So very much like you would do wines or brandies or other yeast. We aged it obviously in American charred oak casks. You still get a sort of a spicy nose, a little bit of a dusty earth on the entry, but then it opens up in a warm breakfast cereal and a little bit of caramel in the middle and finish. You guys had a chance to try it? Third one? Okay. So that's the 3rd one, that's a Gold Run Rye. And like I said, one of the beautiful things as artisanal distillers that we have is the ability to, there's no sacred cows, right? We can do whatever we want. Small batches, we can get creative, and our customers expect that. So that's sort of the beauty that my colleagues and I have, that we can actually get creative with the sourcing, with the materials, with the processing, and hopefully we come up with something that's unique and different that we can delight you guys with. The other sample is our barrel-aged gin. We pioneered the barrel aging of the gin. The first time we started in 2003 when we were producing another gin in Santa Cruz called Vicious. Some of you may remember that. So we were actually the first barrel aged gin label approved in the United States. We spent a lot of time with PTB doing it. There's a lot of people who are coming up with barrel aged gins now, and that's kind of becoming an in thing. But Rusty Blade was always designed to be, the reason why I did it is because I'm an old Cognac Armagnac distiller, so I put everything in oak at some point. Everything will find its way in oak. Sometimes things turn out great, sometimes they don't turn out so great. But I love to nerd out about aging in different types of oak, different chars, different levels of alcohol. So that's sort of where I kind of nerd out, because you extract different flavors, you get different effects. So naturally, you have a great gin. Why not put it in oak barrels? So we're doing some magic with the oak barrels. We actually reuse some of the existing oak barrels. We age our wine. Blade is 12% unaged cognac, which we produce in-house from the Zinfandel from Santa Cruz Mountains. So we do a lot of magic with our like AG system, with reusing some of the same oak from the same vanilla and so on. So we get almost 30% angel share for the Rusty Blade, and that's why it's so rich. We get so much reduction. So all the fruity, fresh stuff kind of tones down. You get sort of burnt caramel, orange flavors, and all the earthy stuff coming. You like it?
I love it's amazing. I'm a gin drinker, and this is like gingery. It's just not junipery. It's so different.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very nice.
It's you know, it's a sister of blade gin. So if you've ever tried blade, you would understand how it kind of becomes. But the idea is in complex spirits, like a gin, where you have a dozen different botanicals, right? How do you make them all work in concert? You know, in other words, not have this one note of a heavy piney, juniper, sappy, you know, flavors that kind of sticks up. But it's almost like an orchestra chord, right? That's placed together where you almost have to create something completely new and different. So that's sort of what we've been able to accomplish with blade. Like our colleagues at Dry, we also use the German company, Carl, same companies they did to the distillery. We took a little bit different approach. You can actually see in the back of the card our still. You can go on Facebook and see the actual bigger pictures. In fact, you can come visit us here just down the street. But I actually designed this still. This is my 11th still, so it was actually custom built for us by my design. And we're able to do a lot of different things that traditional, you know, shells and still have. So it's part of our secret sauce as well. So, we have a lot of things, like I said, we can share with you guys a lot more. We are local. If you want to come visit us, we're open every last Friday of the month for an open house. It's an adult distilling kind of thing, taste. We have fun. It's always been in my family something that friends and family and neighbors did. You know, we worked together in the fields. People picked grapes. They made food together. You know, had a couple of drinks. Eventually, break out in the accordion. You know, the night ended up being long and beautiful. But this is what we're trying to recreate. So it's not just, we're not trying to be a multinational beverage company. We're trying to be friends, family, neighbors, you know, community of people who are truly passionate about what they do. Coming up with something different and unique that's local, that's authentic, and hopefully trying to convert you guys to our way of thinking and join our community of people who enjoy greater things in life. So hope you guys enjoyed these samples. Again, Golden Rye Whiskey and Rusty Blade. And if you guys want to visit us at the booth, we'd love to share some of the other ones with you. Thank you guys very much.
My name is Jason Ingram. I'm with Corsair Distillery based out of Nashville, Tennessee. The question raised earlier, some of our labels that you may have seen in the market if you have. Actually read Bowling Green, Kentucky on it as well. We actually got started there in Bowling Green because it was the closest legal location for us to begin distilling and distributing until we could get the laws amended in the state of Tennessee to where we could obtain a distillation permit. Lucky us, we finally got that done in August of 2009, and we are now distillery number 4 after Jack Daniels, George Dickel, and Pritchard's. So that was a big task that we had to overcome to be able to be in Nashville, Tennessee. However, we did hold on to our Bowling Green facility as well. Our Nashville facility is in charge of doing our whiskey production for us, where we do have several other spirits within our portfolio. We do a gin, a spiced rum, a red absinthe, and vanilla bean vodka as well, along with a few other items as well. But what we've got here tonight is 2 of our whiskeys. We actually have close to about 30 experimentals, as a matter of fact. But these are 2 that we are bringing in the market. Triple Smoke is the first one that you have there, which is already available in the market. It's kind of a cross between a bourbon and a scotch, if you will. It uses 100% malted barley, but it uses 3 different kinds. It uses a smoked peat, a smoked beechwood, and a smoked cherry. One of our founding partners did a understudy at the Fly Distilling Academy, and whenever he came back to the States, he noticed no one was really doing anything of that nature here. So what we have is one of the first smoked whiskeys, if you will, in the States, and very popular for us. It's definitely our #1 selling aged whiskey right now. So. Yes, it does. I mean, and believe it or not, we got an accolade. He said it's got a lot of Bruichladdich characteristics. We ended up getting an accolade by a critic that stated it was similar to Bruichladdich, and Derek was just thrilled about that. So please, y'all go ahead and taste that. But we're a very small company, similar to these guys here. In comparison to some of the larger distilleries out there, they probably spill more than we make within the course of a year, to be quite honest with you. Last year we did a little over 3,000 six-pack cases, currently stretched over 18 states and 21 markets at this point in time and growing. A little over 4 years old now. We just celebrated our 4-year anniversary in January, so we're very proud about that, and still continuing to grow. So what do you guys think about the triple smoke? Yeah, it's not nearly as smoky as some of the scotches that are out there, though, to where it's overpowering. It's just kind of soft and subtle, and it's a nice, easy finish on it. Sir? Yeah. So what we do, because we're such a young facility, 4 years, we started out with 5-gallon barrels, and we use new oak barrels, number 3 char. What that allows us to do is slingshot the aging process. You have more surface area to your whiskey. So in a 5-gallon barrel, 2-3 months tastes like about 3 or 4 years. So we finally have graduated to 15-gallon barrels, which is what you're tasting here in the triple smoke. We aged this approximately 6 months in 15-gallon barrels. So, and then the next one we did the same as well. So if you want to move on to the next whiskey here, this is something that I brought along for you guys to try. This is not over there on the boat, and it's not even available in the markets just yet. So this is what we refer to as one of our experimental whiskeys as well. Very small batch production on this. Our facility, whenever we make a product, doesn't yield any more than about 40 to 45 gallons per item at a time that we produce it. Rough yield, to give you an idea, triple smoke, for example, 900 pounds of grain will yield 300 gallons of mash. By the time we distill it down the first time, we get about 45 to 50 gallons of 60 to 70 proof product. And then whenever we do our second distillation, our high wines run, if you will, get it on up to about 120, 130 proof on that second pass. We end up with about 40 gallons.
What kind of barrel?
New oak. New oak barrels, number 3 char. Yeah. Oh, this one here? What you're getting on this one, this last one, if you've already moved to it, again, this is one of our experimentals. It's a Grotzer type of whiskey, if you will. It's 51% wheat, which we actually smoked ourselves. We have a smoke shed in the back of our distillery in Nashville, and that's something that we enjoy doing there. Again, one of our founders, along with Andrew, they're big Scotch fans, and they love the smoky characteristics. And we have that smoke shed there, and we do all kinds of experiments with it. Again, like I said, we've got about 30 that have been already prototyped, and we've taken about a half dozen of them to the markets already. So this is 51% wheat, 49% barley. All barley that we use in our whiskeys is 2-row barley. So you're going to get a lot more of a stronger characteristic. And then as it's aging in the barrel, it also lays on some of that smoked wheat, as a matter of fact. So it's pretty strong. Yes?
So you're doing direct or indirect smoking?
It's direct smoking on this one here. Yes, direct smoking to the grain itself. And then with the triple smoke that you tried first, we actually purchased those already pre-smoked. So, but yeah, this is a unique little item that we just finished not long ago, and thought I'd bring that out for you to try. What's your opinion and thoughts on that?
Very nice.
Yeah. Very good. Great. I mean, my time's up. It's much darker, and a lot of that comes from the smoking itself. You know, we smoke it for a significant period of time, and it's going to pull in a lot of that darker color and characteristic. Plus, once we put it in the barrel and age it with the grain itself as well. Yeah. So, but. I guess that's my time. Any questions, curiosities? Again, you know, keep an eye out for us. We've got lots of different things on the horizon. Everything from unaged whiskeys to pumpkin spice moonshines to all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes?
What were you calling this experimental?
a Grotzer beer. What we do basically to kind of give you a little bit more of an insight, as opposed to using the typical grains that a lot of your larger distilleries out there use, we do a lot of experimentation with the other cereal families out there and kind of change it up a little bit. Basically, all whiskey starts out as a beer. So you have to make a mash, which is just like making beer, to make whiskey. So it's a Grotzer style is what it's referred to, which is a wheat style of beer, if you will. So again, 51% wheat, 49% barley, and that's where we end up with those characteristics on it. Anyone else? Yes, guys.
Questions for anyone, so all of us?
No, I think it was very good.
No questions? How many of you actually own a backyard still?
Not that we're federal agents.
No, we're not, yeah.
Sure. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, class dismissed.
Thank you guys, thank you all the time, thank you, enjoy yourself.